show today. We are reviving the Mr. Obama doll to come back for a guest appearance on the to give us an update of what's going on in the Middle East. And this was President Obama doll that you all know and love. This doll earned me on YouTube about somewhere between 30 and 45,000 US dollars over the course of about 8 years, where the doll was prescient in almost everything he said. And now Mr. Obama has given Michael Thomas Fazio the prescience to know or to guess or to believe or to theorize the future of this flat earth. So let's talk about this for a few minutes. What Mr. Obama can do, why he has a bandana on, because everybody knows that for years I said Mr. Obama was born over there, not over here. Over there and over here, that's two different things. We all know that's true now, as we know after Miss Joan Rivers had a throat surgery and unfortunately she died on the operating table for also telling some truths about Mr. Obama and Mrs. Obama, according to some people. Joan Rivers was eliminated from the TV shows that she used to know and love, and we knew and loved her. So the truth is now the reason why we are subjected to criticism and or what they call, when they cancel you, the cancel culture. The truth is what gets you canceled, not the lies. So Mr. Obama has come back to get some of this stuff straightened out on YouTube. I say Louis Pagan Ponce is in the house without my glasses. I don't know what Louis. No, Obama is back. Scott Del Fuego. Ladies and gentlemen, keep a hanging for a little time, and the Rabbi is going to tell you some things, baby. So we're going to talk about a lot of things today. One thing I want to tell you about is I want to show you today's notes. My notes I put in the community page. Who I'm going to talk about, why I'm going to talk about them. Some of them, like Mr. Ed Lippert, right? You might not think that Ed Lippert is a geopolitical figure, but he is the anchor. He is the actual anchor for geopolitical talks in this flat earth. By allowing Ed Lippert to narrate and to interpret what some of the great leaders like George Galloway and Jimmy Dore and Mr. President Putin and also the great Mr. Netanyahu, by allowing Ed Lippert to interpolate what they said, he can keep you and the American people in a constant state of confusion. He is the most important and the key element of geopolitics in today's world. But there are others. There are others that want to get a foothold, what's called a foothold, to put the foot in the door. Those include people like the Bomber Master. He's also going to play a major part. We have the giant egotist who is now calling anybody and everybody, I heard it in a video yesterday, if you take sound bites from previous shows of the giant ego and you use those sound bites or give those sound bites to other people to use to show the duplistic nature of the giant ego itself, you are an a chemical bag. You are the schem bag, not the giant ego for saying those things, not the giant ego for talking about other Filipinos and his sexual appetites. No, you, because you recorded them and you give them to some great channel like Flying Circus. And Flying Circus utilizes those sound bites. You are the bad person to utilize the sound bites from the giant ego. Not the giant ego for making the statements themselves, no matter how derogatory they were to an innocent blogger like Princess and Noob, who's an innocent person in all of this, even if everything the giant ego said was true. Why did you have to publicize it like that in verbally with, by the way, your video of yourself speaking the words? Why did you do that? So if you did that and other people use your sound bites and they're the bad people for using your sound bites, how does that work in geopolitics where you get an orator like Jimmy Orr using sound bites of all the different people honing in on the Israel hell in the Middle East conflict? So if it's not fair for Jimmy Dore or George Galloway or Colonel McGregor to use sound bites of other people's videos, then I would say, okay, but it is fair for the great orators of the world to use sound bites of people like the Giga Ego. Therefore, by Flying Circus and going to Flying Circus's channel and seeing and listening to the sound bites of the Giga Ego degrading and humiliating an innocent blogger like Princess and Nude, that's fair game. Don't call me or Flying Circus a chemical bag because you did something you regret. And I have all of those videos. Not that you would retract what you said, because you are a psychological mess. You're a psychopath, in my opinion, and you're a narcissistic NP3 class 3 personality disorder with all of the attributes of cluster personality defects. Okay? So don't call other people using your sound bites chemical bags, because we're not. Everybody does it. But because they did it to you, they're the chemical bags. No, that's not true. You, sir, are the chemical bag for putting Princess and Nude down like that. And now, if someone uses a soundbite where you and one of your friends are having an interaction where if he was gay, I'd want to make love to him, and if I was gay, I'd want to make love to him, and if you're gay, I'd make love to you. You said those words. I didn't say those words. My friends and I don't talk like that. So don't berate or belittle somebody like myself who just happened to have and saved those sound bites for no special reason at the time, but wasn't that prescient? Just like my video where I said on October 8th, the day after the attack on the great state of Israel, the great state of Israel was attacked by a Palestinian faction called Hamas. And on the 8th, just 24 hours after the attack, Michael Thomas Fazio predicted that this was going to extend into other parts of the Middle East. I don't know why I said it. Half the stuff on YouTube that I say just comes into my fron. And fron is another word for head. It's an old Latin word. But anyway, I don't know why I say everything I say, but I say it and it happens. That makes it prescient. And the definition of prescient is on the screen in my community page. So we're going to talk about the Giga Ego a little bit more in a little while. We're going to talk about the great Bummer Jordan, who now has missiles. He's putting together missiles. No longer is the great Bummer Jordan in detention, no longer. Now the great Bummer Jordan has been moved to a sheet metal shop at the bottom of the detention center and given access to rockets and rocket motors so that the great Bummer Jordan, quote unquote, can defend against the unfair comments and commenters that unfairly justify their actions against the great Bummer Jordan, calling him a liar, a thief, and a fraud. And some people go so far, like that guy John Blaze calling the great Bummer Jordan a roach. How destructive is that to the nature of a human being's persona? So John Blaze is also critical about other things. He's critical about people's wives. He's critical about the way people's wives look. He's critical about everything. He is John Blaze. And if you follow John Blaze, then you are a blazer too. Because I'm a blazer, you're a blazer. Everybody wants to be a blazer today, baby. So that's what we got going here today. So I'm going to turn this cam around. I'll read the comments, and then we're going to go through the notes on the community page, because we have things to talk about. And whilst we're on the subject, almost a little bit off topic, the Giga Ego. Didn't the Giga Ego promise the great Bummer Jordan, the missile maker, didn't he promise that he'd get him out of detention if he could? And now the need and the opportunity has arisen for the great Bummer Jordan to get out of prison. I mean, detention. By some remarkable thing that happened somewhere in the Bureau of Immigration in the Philippines, halfway around the world from the great state of Israel, Hiel. And this, now the great Bummer Barry Jordan has the opportunity to get out of detention for only $3,000 US. So if the Giga Ego is going to fulfill his promise, it's time. The time has come to fulfill that promise. And I wish Barry Jordan the best of luck, because Barry Jordan has people that he wants to visit when he gets out of detention. And he can't visit those people from detention, although he's doing a workaround in the basement of the cell factory where he lives now, where he's being temporarily detained. Barry Jordan is making missiles in the basement of the Bureau of Immigration's detention center. And now Barry Jordan has gone back to school and is getting his pilot's license. And also by doing that, he's learning geonavigation or chart reading and wind drift and different variables that are called flight, the elements of flight, so that Barry Jordan, if he can't get out of detention for another 36 years, I mean months, I mean days before Christmas, if he can't, he can launch those Barry Jordan missiles by, instead of visiting the people he wants to visit, he can go and send the missiles with the notes on them to the, but he has to get the coordinates. So now we do know that the Swamp King, the channel, and also other channels have the GPS coordinates, and we do know that Barry Jourdain and the Swamp King and other channels are working hand in hand to get those coordinates into the computer systems and navigational systems of the missiles that Barry Jordan is producing in the missile factory below the detention center in Cebu. So let's turn this camera around and let me read. Mr. Obama, you have anything you want to say? Mr. Fazio, you have always been right about your predictions. Anything else, Mr. Obama? You have been a prescient human being for many years. Mr. Obama, where were you born? Over there. Over there. I was born over there. Over there. Over there. Were you born in the USA? No, Mr. Fazio. I was born over there. Is that the truth? That's the truth. That's the first time you ever told the truth, Mr. Obama. Gotta happen eventually. Even you throw enough spaghetti at the wall, some of that spaghetti is gonna stick to the wall. But only if the spaghetti is cooked enough, Mr. That's right. That's true, Mr. Fazio. When the spaghetti is done, you throw it against the wall. If it sticks, it's done. That's true. That's where I learned how to do politics. I keep a pot of boiling water on the stove like John Blaze has a pot of spaghetti water on the stove. Today, when I talked to John Blaze, but he was a very arrogant man today. He was talking about rubber gums. Rubber gums is different than bubble gums. He was being a very arrogant man talking about somebody else's wife. And I don't like that John Blaze. You don't like John Blaze, Mr. Obama? I don't like when he talks about somebody else's wife. Mr. Fazio, that's not a good thing. Okay, Mr. Obama, we're going to put you down. Putting me down, Michael Fazio, putting me down. Okay, miss. Can I wear the bandana? You can't wear the bandana. Okay, salamat. So, we are back. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. You know where we are. We are in the Mideast now, going into geopolitics. I have the bandana, the Rabbi Chew, C-H-E-W, Rabbi Chew Barker bandana on, baby, because we're going to read the comments now. I'm going to get a little bit of water now, and I got a bottle of water cooling off in the refrigerator. This water is from early this morning. Let's go turn the camera around. Let's go through the community post by the numbers. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There we go. Let's go to my community. Hey, Flying Circus, the great Flying Circus. This is the community post with today's intel. Let's call it intel. And we're going to go through this by the numbers. Look at the Mr. Great Obama. Obama is back, says Louis Pagan. Mike Hunt. Michael Thomas Fazio, why are you holding a Barack Obama doll? You're never going back to the United States. That's probably true. Mike Hunt. Michael Hunt, H-U-N-T, Mike Hunt. I have to talk about something, Mike Hunt, and today we're talking about geopolitics in the Mideast, starring Popeye. Popeye is a big star. He's a good friend of yours. Gotta stand back when you're talking to Popeye. He'll blow you down by shooting corn out of his torso. Popeye is a big into shooting people down with his corn shoot. All right, so Rabbi Jew Barker returns today. Michael Hunt. Mike Hunt, where are you, Mike Hunt? Where are you? Is Mike Hunt in the parking lot? You want candy? Is Mike Hunt in the parking lot? Is Mike Hunt in the parking lot? Calling Mike Hunt. Now, Fazio Chewbacca predicted this would happen on 10/9 of 2023. I did. In the video that I'm going to give you the link to, I predicted this would happen. Thanks for stopping by, Mike Hunt. Flying Circus says, Obamsky is an AI guy now. I like the name Chemical Bag. Well, that's because we have to work around YouTube's algorithms. John Blaze doesn't work around anybody's algorithms. You are one mean talking about somebody else's wife's rubber teeth. John, that was just low. That was a low blow, even for you, John Blaze. John Blaze is making videos about other people's wives' teeth and then taking them down, putting them up and taking them down. But I got that video, John Blaze. So Fazio Chewbacca predicted this would happen on 10/9 of 23. This video saying 50,000 people would die in this war conflict program. And it may have been prescient or it may have been delusional, but we are all on our way to that number with no end in sight. Now I want to make an additive right now. Right now, for 10 days, they said only 1,000 people on each side died. That for 10 days. Then on the 12th day, it was 1,400 people, thereabouts, on one side and 1,000 on the other. But in the meantime, the great Mr. Netanyahu, he has been involved in a saturation bomb program, a bomb saturation program to turn Palestine where the Hezbollah, those people, I forget the name of them. I made the video for these people and I forgot their name. Anyway, those people, the Hamas people, Mr. Great Netanyahu, who can do no wrong, and I'm going to tell you why Mr. the Great Netanyahu can do no wrong. It's my theory. I came up with the conspiracy theory that attaches itself to the Samson auction back in 2010. I came up with the Samson option conspiracy theory in 2010 that ends all Samsung options in the Mideast. Nobody will ever agree with me, and I'm telling you it's the truth. It's prescient. Take my word for it. I am Rabbi Jew Barker in the Philippines, baby. So, we'll get to the Samsung option soon enough. Let's go. Michael Hunt. Mike Hunt says Barry Lee Jordan goes back to the United States of America. He will have to go to jail for non-payment of child support. That's true, Mike Hunt. Now, this is why the great John Blaze has called Barry Jordan a roach, a lying, backstabbing roach, like of a human being. This is John Roach's words. I mean, John Blaze's words about the roach. I mean, John Blaze's words about Barry Jordan. John Blaze and I had a conversation this morning. Aside from being John Blaze, really, John Blaze made a video that you people either do or don't know about in the middle of the night, talking about another blogger's wife's rubber teeth. Either rubber, they were made out of rubber or plastic. That is just uncalled for, John. That's uncalled for. We have been trying to get away from talking about other people's wives and girlfriends, and you, John Blaze, are not helping by putting videos up and then taking them down and putting them up and taking them down and putting them up and taking them down so nobody can grab them. Now, if anybody has that video, send it to me and I'll get somebody to post that video. But you're a bad man, John Blaze. You're a very bad man for doing that, for talking stuff like that. So I don't want to talk about that with you, and I don't want to talk about things like that with you. I want to just keep on topic, the Barry Jordan problem. Okay, so Barry Jordan is in a fix, in the mix. Mike Hunt is right. Mike Hunt is always right because Mike Hunt is Mike Hunt. And everybody knows that Mike Hunt cannot make a mistake because he's in control of Mike Hunt. And anybody that's in control of his hunt cannot make a mistake. So Mike Hunt says that Barry Jordan will go to jail. Now, that is if they go after him. So now you have to have somebody like Popeye who shoots corn out of his lower torso to go after Barry Jordan, and we know that's not going to happen. Popeye's never going to put that much effort. I'll meet him at the airport. You won't meet anybody at the airport, Popeye. We know that. But that's okay. It sounds good on paper. We all want to hear that kind of stuff. It's good drama. But we know that you won't go to meet Barry Jordan at the airport because you won't know when he's coming to America, if he ever goes to America. And the only thing that's ever going to get him to America is if the giant ego keeps his promise to the Barry Jordan, pays off $3,000 for his back immigration fees, plus on top of that $3,000, another $2,000 or thereabouts to house Barry Jordan until he can get a plane ticket back for about $1,300. So that means the Giga Ego has to give Barry Jordan $5,000 US. And he's not going to do that. I don't think he will. I think he just likes to act like the giant ego in town. And if he does give Barry Jordan the $3,000 US, then Barry can get out of detention. He promised Barry Jordan $3,000. He said, I'm going to do whatever I need to do for Barry to get him out of jail. But he didn't do that. So far, he didn't do that. So, the Giga Ego likes to be involved with everybody else's smackdown, but don't like it when people smack him down for what he says and does. So, Barry Jordan, the missile maker, we want you, Barry Jordan, to hold the Giga Ego accountable to get you out of jail. Remembering, Barry Jordan, moron, that the Giga Ego offered you to take your future wife that you love into his harem at the door that was open on the detention center while you looked through bars at the Giga Ego and made some kind of compromising deal with the Giga Ego. When the Giga Ego said, would it be okay if I brought your future fiancée wife into my harem, Barry Jourdain was busting deals like Monty Hall on Let's Make a Deal. And then the Giga Ego said something to the effect, would it be okay if she made the love to other women? And Barry Jourdain cut a new deal with the Giga Ego saying that it would be okay if she made the love to other women, because Barry Jourdain has that kind of a mindset. But as long as it's not Barry Jourdain's future wife's cousin. So the Giga Ego got himself a possible addition to his harem of 14 now, but was once 34, and I have those sound bites. So Barry Jourdain has no moral compass, but he has no money, and he needs the Giga Ego. So for a compromise, Barry Jourdain will give his future wife up for grabs, so to speak, both physically and theoretically. That's a strange thing. Now, had I been made that offer to a girl I loved, I might have slammed that steel door on the Giga Ego and told him to leave. But Barry Jourdain is in a predicament spot, and he has no choice. So he has to euphemistically take it for the Gipper. Take one for the Gipper. And that, my friends, might be what the Giga Ego had in mind from the get-go. Because we have video of the Giga Ego talking about how other men ask the Giga Ego to make the man love to their wives so they could watch. That's true. We have those videos. Because some people have mental problems even bigger than the Giga Ego. To have the woman you love, to watch her make love to the Giga Ego will somehow get you off. That's sick. But that's the story with the Giga Ego, and that's what he said, and that's what he said happened many times. And then, of course, those women that he made the love to, they had to go to the hospital because he, quote-unquote, tore them apart. So they had to go to the hospital to get fixed. That's a very sick man. But that's not today's topic. It's just part of today's topic. Anytime any of you people don't believe it, go to Flying Circus's channel. He'll have those videos once I start hearing complaints that they don't exist. The sound bites don't exist. And the video. Oh, yeah, by the way, the Giga Ego. You calling people chemical bags because they have sound bites of what you said about other women and other men and women that you love, and using those sound bites in videos where we or they or Flying Circus is a chemical bag. How does that work out? That would make every newscaster, every commenter, every orator on the internet a chemical bag for using sound bites of other people's videos. So don't go randomly calling people chemical bags because they used something that you said, and don't deny that you said it because your face isn't in the video, because that's just one step away. The fact that you have to go around and make yourself the center of attention all the time, the fact that I have to hear it from somebody else that you said that the people that are using your sound bites are chemical bags, that's a little bit of the pot calling the kettle black, dude. I suggest, before this shit goes out to Fred and George, I suggest you put a curb on that kind of rhetoric and talk, because Fred and George are only an email away. What you think is your business. What you want to do in your private life is your business. But going around and knocking everybody else down for bringing attention to you for what you said, that's everybody's business. You said it, it's public, you published it, and then you took it off. You have a channel for how many years? And you had hundreds and hundreds of videos over the course of the year, and now you have 9 videos on your channel because of all the disgusting and disturbing things you said on your channel. The onus is on you for saying stuff like that. Not calling me or Flying Circus or anybody else a chemical bag because of something you said. That's part of today's topic. We might not be done with that part yet, but going around calling other people's names when your friends, your best friend, Popeye, the corn shooter, the man who has defended you for some strange and unknown reason. Oh, wait, because you're subsidizing somebody's vacation to the Philippines. For first it was just a few dollars, then it was a few weeks, then a few months, and now a year. Maybe you have coerced Popeye the corn shooter to stick to you like glue. But let's get back to the comments on my community page. This is the community page right here. Okay? So, Obama returns. Now, this is a pretty important theory that I've come up with. The Samsung option. Now, most of you people are ignorant. Now, I'm going to just tell you something that I have on YouTube that you might want to watch, and you might not. But it is a playlist. It's a playlist of 82 videos, 81 videos. It's called Net, N-E-T, Netanyahu's Israeli War. Okay, I'll post this on my page, which I have to open up now. I forgot where I am. You know what I am? I'm not even, what I did not do is I did not open up the chat on YouTube. So I got to go there, and then I got to go over to my videos, and then I got to open up today's live stream, and then I got to open up the video, and then I got to read the comments, and then I'm going to post. And then I got to read the comment. Okay, so let's go down to the bottom. Let's put the Netanyahu. Oh, darn. Is this it? No, this is not. We could go back here. We could go to my playlists. We could go to Netanyahu. I could grab this link and the name of the video. The name of the video link is... Now, I've watched 80 81 of these videos. 81 of these videos. I've watched all of them, some of them 2 and 3 times. So I could give you a synopsis of what's going on in these videos, but I may do that. So this is my playlist. And then eventually this playlist will be in my video description. We got to go back here now. I got to go to my live stream. I got to add this into my video playlist like I always do. So that's the playlist, the Netanyahu playlist. You people out there, you think that this war that's going on, you believe anything that they say? Don't believe anything they say. Everything that they've said so far about this war is all baloney and cheese. All of it. All of it. Why it's occurring, how it's occurring, how many people have died, why they've died, and the reasons that the great state, the great unabated destruction of Gaza is going on. George Galloway is the most recent video I watched. It came out yesterday. Scott Ritter, Israel is in big trouble. Yesterday's video. And the Arab ambassadors speak at the United Nations following Israeli airstrikes on a hospital in Gaza. Okay, now, what I will tell you that Israel has done to Hamas and to Gaza is there are 26 hospitals in Gaza. 23 of those 26 hospitals have been closed down because there's no electric, no water, no medicine, and no ability for the hospital to treat the patients. So Israel has effectively closed down 23 of 26 hospitals. Okay? That's true. Israel said to the people in Gaza, you will exit the country. Exit stage left. We'll just call it stage left, because north, south, east, and west, I get confused. I'm not so smart, you know. So they told the Palestinians in Gaza to exit, and there would be a doorway open for them somewhere. I don't know where the doorway is. I haven't heard about the open door, where it goes to. So when the people gathered on the road to go to the door, exit stage left, somehow missiles rained down on the people and killed several dozen people that were doing what the great state of Israel asked them to do, to get on that road to exit Gaza. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but it's in my playlist in one of those top 3 videos, or 2 of the top 3 videos. So they're telling people to go down this road so you can get away, but there's no place for them to go. And then when they get on the road, then they're supposedly bombing the people on the road. That's the great state of Israel. Now, we're going to go back. I'm going to tell you something about the Samsung option. And I am sure this is correct. Even though it's a conspiracy theory, maybe the biggest conspiracy theory anybody's ever made on YouTube, I created this conspiracy theory going back into the year 2012, 11, 13, like that. I formulated this conspiracy theory. Michael Thomas Fazio. So let's go back and I'll read the comments. And then we'll go to the next, the Samsung option. You're not going to like this because it's true. If I say it, therefore, it might be true. The Yanks are coming. The Yanks are coming. Over there, over here. Yes, I'm in Bahal. Mike Hunt. Michael Hunt is in Bahal. Let's go out and have something to eat together, Mike Hunt. I'm in Bahal. I'll look for a message for you, and I'll give you my telephone number. Mike Fazio. Mike Hunt and Mike Fazio. Wow, what a team that would make. I'd be happy to go out and have something to grab a bite with you. I would actually like to go to, if you'd like, we could go out to the Lobach River cruise. That would be cool. It's 1 hour away from the ICM Mall. We can grab a jeepney at the ICM Mall for $1, and the jeepney will bring us straight to the Lobach River. Michael Hunt. Yeah, that'd be cool. Or we could go to Alona Beach. But the Lobach River cruise would be something, I think, especially if you have a lady with you, she would enjoy the customs of the Filipino people. The singing and the band of playing the bamboo banjos and the thing they do with the sticks where they bang the sticks up where your ankles are. That's pretty cool. Michael Hunt, if you're still with us and you want to get together, leave a message on one of my older videos on this channel, and I'll send you my phone number, Smart and Globe. Sorry that I didn't get to your comments sooner. Mike Fazio says Scott Del Fuego is a man among men, a trendsetter and a traditionalist, a futurist, yet a student of the past, one who can speak on how to apply paint while contemplating the purpose of the universe. Epic thought processes, says Scott Del Fuego. Thank you, Scott Del Fuego. Flying Circus, any conflict in that area has a great potential for 50,000 casualties, says Flying Circus, especially if the conflict expands into other areas. Now, if you go back, somebody is so kind to go back and find out where I said it had the potential to expand on the borders of Gaza and Palestine. I said that in my original video. And if it did, 50,000 people would be my estimate of how many people are going to die. Now, right now, today, they're saying 10,000 people died. So that number jumped from 1,400 to 10,000 in one jump. But let me tell you why this was going to get worse. This sounds crazier than all of everything I've said before, except the fact that Popeye can shoot corn out of his lower torso at a rate that will be able to inundate the average man with corn and smother the average man to death with corn. So the only thing worse than Popeye shooting corn out of his bottom torso is trying to figure out what is being said when listening to Ed Lippert interpret the diplomat's words. So Ed Lippert reads the words off the teleprompter, and then you have to interpret what Ed Lippert said. That's even more confounding than listening to Chinese, actually. So you can lose your mind trying to decipher in English what Ed Lippert said, because every 37th word sounds like English. The rest of it sounds like when you're using the Dick Tracy private communications watch, where Now Yahoo Putin and helicopter and thousands of chemicals and I'm gonna get a new teeth soon, like that. That's the Ed Lippert, Dick Tracy interpretation of Ed Lippert and Dick Tracy. So big Epsilon should never decided to try and bully. That shit didn't fly that well, did it? That shit did not fly that well, Scott. Big Epsilon should have never decided to try and bully and marginalize Michael. Just not a good look for a rich giant. No. And he knows he's wrong, but he's right there. He's right there on the you watch the defining characteristics of a psychopath and an NP3 with a cluster personality, and you got a picture of the giant ego in Cebu right next to the cluster personality disorder. That man has more issues than tissues. And money can buy you love, Flying Circus. So the Samsung option. Now, let me tell you, I wonder if Popeye has been to the Corn Palace in Mitchell, South Dakota. I'm sure they got a picture of Popeye's bum in the Corn Palace. If they don't, why don't we get Popeye to send the Corn Palace in Mitchell, South Dakota? I know exactly where South Dakota is, by the way. I can tell you precisely where South Dakota is because I've done a lot of research. That's where the Black Hills are, and that's where they have the motorcycle rally, South Dakota. And I know everything there is to know. They grow soybeans and corn in South Dakota. I know the price of new cars in South Dakota, Chevrolets to be more precise. I know a lot of places in South Dakota. I know more about South Dakota than almost any other blogger on YouTube in the Philippine genre. So let's talk about why this is going on now and why I think it's going to escalate before it de-escalates, if ever. So what you people don't understand is that the Illuminati, here it comes, sit down, baby. The Illuminati, the Masons, the Vatican, and the United States Mafia, they use precursors in the form of headlines and news stories. I'll say that again. The United States Mafia, the politicians, the powers that be, the Illuminati, the Rothschilds, the Club of Rome, the Club of 300, and the Bohemian Grove Society, they use symbology, symbolic numbers and words. This year's symbolic gesture to the New World Order and to the escalation of this, and why I said the war was going to escalate, was that the week before, Hamas attacked the kibbutz, which, by the way, had many soldiers in the kibbutz as protectorants of the Jewish people that were in the kibbutz. I know all about kibbutzes, okay? My friend Elise Zenright was in a kibbutz. Her sister was in a kibbutz. I dated Elise when she went to the kibbutz in Israel back in 1977. I dated her when she came back from the kibbutz. My friend Irving Klein, the Jewish rabbi who taught me carpentry and concrete skills, his daughter Ruth went to a kibbutz. He was in Israel at a kibbutz. His brother Stanley was also a member of a kibbutz. Stanley Klein and Irving Klein. Irving Klein was the rabbi of the Howard Beach Jewish Center when it was still in Old Howard Beach. So I know about kibbutz. Ask me about kibbutz, I'll tell you anything you want. It's more than just like an area where people go and hang out. They have farms, they work, they all contribute something to the benefit of the kibbutz. It's so that they can work together, and they have political organizations in the kibbutz and all of that stuff. But moving past that, the week before the kibbutz was attacked, when Mr. Netanyahu lowered his guard, either intentionally or not intentionally, when he lowered his guard for 7 hours and didn't send help to the kibbutz that was under attack, there was a precursor to the attack that nobody was paying attention to. But I did see it. How many trillions of dollars is the United States in debt? When did that number come out? And how is it a Masonic, satanic, Illuminati number? You ask anybody how much debt the United States has, and the number is $33 trillion. 33. That's a Masonic and Illuminati and a satanic number. The number 33. 33 levels to rise in the order of Masonry. You can either choose one or the other. Either way, the whole entire thing is satanic in nature. Take my word for it. Nobody that I ever met that was a Mason wasn't a liar and a thief. Nobody that I ever meet wasn't a liar and a thief. Now, I could get in trouble for that. Oof. I could get in trouble because I'm still a Mason. Once a Mason, always a Mason, right? Every Mason I ever did business with or tried to do business with in Florida or New York would put the screws to you, knowing that if you got the screws put to you, you can't do anything about it because you can't talk to another Mason about another Mason putting the screws to you. And if you talk to the master Mason in your lodge about another Mason putting the screws to you financially or in any other way, shape, or form, they'll say, we'll talk to that man. So you're beholden to a guy that's going to talk to a guy that put the screws to you, and the two of them are in cahoots to begin with because you're the bottom rung on the ladder. You're maybe the first or second or third or fourth degree Mason, fifth degree, whatever it is. You're at the bottom of the rung, and all that you're going to get back from the master Mason or the king of the lodge is that it'll come back to you. Just eat it. That this guy did this and it cost you money. Eat it. Just let it go. Don't make waves. We're all brothers. Bologna and cheese, we're all brothers. It's a fraternal organization with a level above level above level. And as you rise up through the ranks, you get to screw everybody underneath you and they can't complain about it. Let alone smash the guy into a wall by sliding an 8-foot picnic table across 10 feet of concrete and driving him into a concrete pillar. You're not allowed to do that. That's not allowed. I saw that happen between two Masons. So you're not allowed to do stuff like that. If a Mason opens up his car door and smashes it into your car door because he's drunk, and you tell him that you smashed my car door, and he tells you to go F off, I didn't do that, even though you watched him do it because he's drunk, and you go in and complain to the head Mason. The head Mason, the master Mason, the king of the thieves and liars. He'll tell you to just let it go. He's a brother Mason. So anyway, 33 is a Masonic number. Satan's, Vatican, anything that has to do with money and the number 33 is a precursor to something going down in the monetary system of the United States of America. And it happened. A week after that $33 trillion in debt came out, Hamas attacked the kibbutz. And now, that was the precursor, a universal precursor to let everybody know by using the number 33 trillion that money is going to be in jeopardy soon. And it will be if the Arab countries get involved in this war. And it looks like that might happen. Either way, when Biden, and this is only hearsay, when the theory that Biden blew up the Nordic pipeline, that caused a hardship in Europe, and now fuel is 4 times the price. And who makes the most money on that? America. And who says that America is the antagonists? Jimmy Dore and others. But before the Hamas attacked the kibbutz, America and Israel Hiel could do no wrong. But now the tables have turned. The money changers are about to be exposed. And this is going to happen. It's going to get worse, and it's going to escalate. Well, Louis Pagan-Ponce has a super chat. No, intergalactic wood. Money can buy you pleasure. Funk love. Well, we have intergalactic wood with a super chat. We need a pot. Let's go back over here. Intergalactic wood. What a name. I like that. You know, I was just looking at a blog about tamarind wood, and how one of the shores of the Iran, the shore of Iran, or one of the shores had $700 million in tamarind wood that he was selling or collected for his palace. Well, we're going to get the pot now. Let me put my dish away. Talking about wood, I got a new pot banger. You're going to like this. Oh, man, you know what I just did? All right. Intergalactic wood. However much that super chat is for, thank you very much. We have a special. In fact, imagine that. Look how the universe works. Look how the universe works. In the pot is a piece of wood, a bamboo stick that I found on the beach the other day, and I said, "Boy, I wonder what this wood would sound like on the pot." And then Intergalactic Wood sends me the first super chat to use the wood on the pot. So we'll take out the spoon. We're going to have to retire this spoon. And let's give, it makes a great sound. I tested it. Intergalactic wood. Wood is good. Wood is what the giant ego gives his new friends, girlfriends, wives, and his new friend too, maybe, baby. They both agree if they were gay, they'd wanna make love while tossing in the hay. One said, if I was gay, I'd wanna make love to the big ego today. To me, that sounds a little gay, but hey, it's what they say. Intergalactic wood is good. Coming all the way to the Philippines to make love to the big ego. How that works, please make a video and show us how that goes. Intergalactic wood is good. Intergalactic wood is good. That's what they say about the big ego today. If you ask him nice, he'll give your girl the wood. Good. He goes around tormenting people like Princess Anne because he can. It's all on Flying Circus's channel. I also have the entire video series where he talks to someone called the Big Cheese. Call me a chemical bag again, and I assure you I will share it with another friend. Keep those words to yourself, you giant psychopathic, narcissistic, cluster personality, sub-blogging person you are. Keep it up, you giant ego, and we'll give them more for another show. Hey, Intergalactic Wood. Thank you, Intergalactic Wood. Look at this piece of wood. I found this piece of wood when the dog stole that guy's zapato on the beach. Zapato is a sandal or a shoe. I'm on the beach the other day. This is a true story. I made the video, Pang Lao friends on a walk through the province. Yesterday, I put the video up about 4 o'clock. I'm on the beach doing, I was interviewing a couple of construction workers. I'm going to get onto a job site sometime this week, and they're going to allow me to make a drone video of the jump crane. So I was talking to a guy named Jordan, Jordan, Jordan. And he said he's going to talk to the foreman, and the foreman's going to probably let me put my drone on the site. I'm not sure, but they can't stop me from flying the drone up by the jump crane anyway. But it would be better if I had the men at the bottom of the jump crane saying hello. So I'm talking to these construction workers on the beach who know me from being a blogger. And these three people, 2 women and a man, walk by me, and I look at them to say hello, but they're not interested. They're from another country. They don't speak, I don't know if they spoke English or not, but they just walked by me and they looked at the floor, but not me per se, and they kept walking. And that's cool, because they're on vacation. I don't really care about that. And they had the long fins, those 40-inch fins, free diving fins. They're very, very long. Some of them even come in 2 pieces now. So all 3 had a set of free diving fins, and they put their gear bag down on the beach, but I didn't see that part. I was talking to the construction workers and I was doing something on my cell phone. By the time I turned around, they were 75 feet down the beach. And I yelled to them, "Yo!" And I yelled and they didn't turn around. I says, "You left your bag here." Nothing happened. They didn't turn around. Either they didn't understand me, they didn't know I was talking to them. But the reason I said that is because if you leave your gear bag on the beach and your gear bag has any kind of food in it at all, the dog is going to take your bag and walk away with it. They will take your gear bag. It doesn't matter how big it is, they'll drag it away and get that food. These are stray dogs, what they call feral dogs on the beach. They'll get your food. They'll get in your bag and rip it apart. But they walked away and then they kept walking. I thought they were going to come back, but they walked out to the pier. And that's 650 feet away. And I was talking to somebody else and I said, it's not my bag. They didn't even give me the courtesy of saying hello when they walked by. Not on purpose. They didn't. They just walk by because they're on vacation and they don't want to be bothered with saying hello to people. I understand that. I lived in vacation towns my whole life. But when the construction workers left and I was setting the video up to go on YouTube or preparing to make another video, a dog came by and the dog sniffed the bag and then sniffed the shoes on one side of the bag, and then sniffed the shoes on the other side of the bag, and immediately grabbed one of those shoes. Now, those were $80 sandals, beach sandals. So I tried to stop the dog, and I picked up the stick to throw it at the dog, but the dog had already gone away. And I walked about 25 feet. The dog was way down the beach. I'm not chasing a feral dog down the beach for somebody else's sandals who shouldn't have left them there in the first place. And I tried to tell them and ignored me yelling to get their attention. So they're on their own with that. So if you guys ever watched this video and know whose shoes were stolen, whose zapato was stolen, that's what happened. So that's where I got this stick from. And it's a nice stick. And I was looking at a video about tamarind wood yesterday. And then this guy sends me a super chat with wood in it. The name Wood. What was the name of that? Intergalactic. Big ego. I'm going to tell you something, dude. Calling me or anybody that uses your sound bites chemical bags, what is wrong with you? Because you have money, you think you could do that stuff? Because everybody kisses your Bedinsky because you have money? I am not subservient to you or your money. And I never will be. Okay? You have lied about so many things. And then when somebody used sound bites to prove that you're a liar, then you call them chemical bags? You said that. Your sound bites were used. Your face can be in the next video with the sound bites. Because those sound bites that Flying Circus has on his channel are sound bites of real video. Not audio, video. Keep it up. Now, we got to go back. Less harsh than the spoon, and the dynamic range is far greater. Let's play with that for a little while. It's true. Less damage to the pot as well. sounds like a pot. You ever notice that not another blogger anywhere on YouTube can duplicate the sound of the pot? Nobody has a stainless steel crock pot like the Foz. So let's go back. Let's go back. Black nanas, baby. Black nanas. These are the best. The ones that turn black. These are the most tastiest bananas. When I go into I bought these for the hospital yesterday. I thought the hospital was only closed on Sundays. It's closed on Saturdays as well. So I bought 3 kilos of bananas. 3 kilos of bananas. And then yesterday, walking down the block, I gave the children an option walking down the block. Do you want bananas or candy? You know they chose candy every time? Every time. Every time. And I gave them candy. Now, Nan, I gave bananas. Her lady friend, I gave bananas. And another lady that was there, and one child took a banana. So out of about 30 people that I gave candy to while walking down the block, I was walking down the block 2 days after Halloween, giving the children and the people on the block candy. Take that to the authorities. Fazio was giving out candy on Halloween. So, and while you're at it, have a piece of cheese on me. So, they chose candy over bananas. So I still have 2.5 pounds of bananas, but I dented them up last night pretty good. But I want to tell you, these bananas, I bought them because they were brown yesterday. And the brown bananas, although you think that they're bad, those are the tastiest. They're the sweetest. And you can buy them outside the vegetable market. If you walk around the perimeter on what would be the vegetable market is here. The east side of the building. The east? It's actually the southeast side of the building. If you walk around the southeast side of the building, the bananas are 90 pesos. That's about $1.80, $1.70 a kilo. If you go inside the first booth, the bananas are 80 pesos, about $1.50 a kilo. If you walk in a little further and walk towards the ICM Mall, there's 5 booths that sell bananas for 50 pesos a kilo, 50. So that's half price almost. So if you know how to shop in the vegetable market, and I'm the only American that ever goes in there, nobody's ever seen another American in that whole area. But that's what you can get for a discount, 40% discount, if you know where to shop inside the market. But moving back, Mr. Bill is here. Oop, Mr. Bill. Hey, Mr. Bill. And Scott Del Fuego put up a super chat. Thank you for that. Let's get the pot. I eye boogers are on the menu, Bill. Always eye boogers are on the menu. That's called a karmic function of the giant ego. Remember when the giant ego was putting me down, Mr. Bill? Remember all the negative stuff? You're a liar, Fazio. You're a fraud. And because I called him that him and I made an agreement and he broke our agreements. And right after he said all of those things, now nobody is sure how the eye damage occurred. Now there were a lot of theories about that. There's a lot of, we could go into theories. One story I heard is that the Giga Ego was teaching jiu-jitsu. And with the sticks. And that is a plausible theory, how the eye damage occurred. Because it's serious. And I don't want to make fun of that. Not that part itself. Eating of the eye candy, we can make fun of that because that's not part of the original injury. But he pretends to be a pillar of the community, and we all know that he was licking the fluids, and we all know that the booger juice was being consumed on Popeye's show. And if anybody says the booger juice, look at that, booger juice, look at that. Look at that. The universe is supplying us with a booger-like apparatus. If anybody says that the booger juice wasn't being consumed, I have the video. Of course, right? So, now there's another theory of how the eye socket was injured, but that theory, now I'm not going to go there. There's another theory about something poking him in the eye. I'm not going there. I don't believe it. I don't believe that the thing that the people are talking about that may have poked him in the eye could do that kind of damage. But he does have a damaged eye, and he did get that damaged eye immediately after he called me a liar and a fraud and he backstabbed me. He did that, and then he got, I wouldn't call it karma, but it did happen right after he degraded me as best as he could, as best as inhumanly possible. So he likes to do that. He likes to but he also likes to do what narcissists do when they're giving you compliments. He over-compliments you. Over-complimenting, you're the best, you're number one. To build up your confidence in yourself by over-complimenting a person, then you be beholden to him. So if you have the slightest bit of self-doubt, and you have somebody come along and say, "Oh, you're number one, baby. You're the best," and all of a sudden now he boosts your ego, no pun intended. You'll want to make love to him too if you ever decide to be gay. Not that there's anything wrong with being gay, but I gotta tell you that my friends and I don't talk to each other like that. Now, I did make it a point to talk about ladyboys in the video I did 2 days ago. I did make that a point. That's been an ongoing joke in my community for 8 years. In fact, I even had a poster made up, ladyboys twice a year, for a certain one of my friends. But he was the one who started the rumor, not me. Because I asked him, I says, "How come you don't have a girl?" He says, "I have a girl." And I said, "Well, where is she?" He says, "The goat lady." The goat lady. He said the goat lady was his girl. But anyway, then we started this rumor about ladyboys. So everybody that was in the shack that I was talking to, all the drivers, all the hobble drivers, those are all my friends. I see all of those people during all the fiestas and all the parties for Nanai. They all know it's an inside joke to talk about the ladyboys. But that's what it is, an inside joke. None of those people ever said they want to make love to any of the other guys in the inner circle of friends, which is about, I don't know, there could be 100 of those guys. They all grew up with each other in the area where you saw them. Everybody is from this area here. Everybody. They're all from Pang Lao. And my landlord has 700 relatives in between Poblacion and the end of the island. In a 2-mile strip, my landlord has about 700 relatives. They all know each other. They're all cousins, and somehow they're all related through family, because their family has been on this island, Pang Lao, in this area, Dragon Head, for hundreds of years. So it's not something that everybody didn't understand as soon as I said ladyboys. It's an inside joke. Unlike telling your friend that if you were gay, you'd want to make love to him. That's a little bit. Maybe. Louis with the insight. Louis with the insight. We got Scott Del Fuego. We'll get to Lewis's insight right now, baby. Scott Del Fuego hits me up for 247. When those two guys discussed if they were gay, they'd want to make love today. How could you say that about one of your friends? That's crazy stuff. That's crazy stuff, dude. That's crazy stuff. I don't have any friends that said stuff like that to me. I don't know. Maybe I don't have any friends that said stuff like that to me because my friends don't think like that. I don't know. Lewis says maybe his como si llama. Whoa, Lewis with the prescient. Maybe his como si llama hit him in the eye when he turned around abruptly. Wow, that's cold. That's possible, though. That's where the secret that I didn't want to reveal was going. A como si llama hit him in the eye, and not a baton or a set of those sticks. Could have been a como si llama, because I think I could tell you a story, but not a como si llama. So my friends, and I was not with them. Okay, so Mickey Horning, and oh God, Mickey Horning and Jimmy Hennessy and Mickey Horning. They rented a bus back in the 70s. In the 70s. This is a true story. To go see the Rolling Stones concert. And I don't even know which concert it was, because I didn't go. Carl Vella might know if he's here. He might remember. He may have even been on the bus. I don't remember if he went or not. So Jimmy Hennessy and Mickey Horning, I'm pretty sure they're both dead now, and they died a long time ago. But they used to keep the Howard Beach friends, Hard Mothers, Howard Beach Hard Mothers, together, which I was not a member of that either. Although if you were from Howard Beach, you were kind of like a member of Howard Beach Hard Mothers, but you had to have a tattoo on your left hand right here. You had to have a tattoo of a cross on your hand right here, in between your thumb and your forefinger. If you didn't have the cross with 2 dots on either side, you weren't a Hard Mother. And somebody named Giga used to give everybody a cross that you'd put your hand around a railing on the boardwalk usually. Giga charged 25 cents, and he had a prison pen, ink pen, that he made out of, remember the old pens had like a metal cartridge? And Giga would give you a tattoo for 25 cents. And then you were a Hard Mother. So Giga made Hard Mothers, but everybody with a tattoo of a cross over here was a Hard Mother. And I said, I'm going to pass. My old man is going to kick my butt if I come home with a tattoo. Because Giga was giving anybody with 25 cents a tattoo. And now all the Hard Mothers have those tattoos on their hand, and 50, 60 years later, 55 years later, when they have a Hard Mothers reunion, everybody got the tattoo. Then you know if you were a Hard Mother or not. Something stupid. Anyway, Jimmy Hennessy and Horning, Mickey Horning, they rented a bus to go to the Rolling Stones concert. Now, this is nothing to do with Komosikiamas, but it does have to do with lower torsos. And we'll get to Popeye's corn shoot in a few minutes. So, on the bus, Deefy always mooned people, always. Not just on the bus, but whenever anybody was sitting down on the steps by the train station, or in Nick's Pizzeria, or in Mike's Pizzeria, anywhere you were sitting down, Deefy would pull his pants down and give you a moon. And then yell out your name. When you turned around, you were looking straight into Deefy's moon blossom. So Deefy was on the bus in the back row of seats. Anthony Godino told me about this because Anthony Godino and me, we were good friends all through. We went to kindergarten through 4 years of high school together. So we were with each other for 12 years of school. 12 years of school. So, and then we were best friends afterwards. But anyway, Anthony Godino was on the bus in the seat right in front of the back seat. And Deefy mooned Anthony from behind. Deefy was on the back. The back of the bus used to have like a ledge. You put your books up there. And Deefy had his Bodinsky. And when Anthony turned around, Deefy's moonshine, Anthony had a Winston cigarette in his mouth, because that's what Anthony smoked. And he turned around like that, and the cigarette went right into Deefy's moonshine, right in the center of the moonshine. And when the cigarette hit his moonshine, the circle of his love moonshine, Deefy clamped up the outer jaws onto the cigarette and jumped straight up and hit the roof of the bus and fell over onto the floor, grabbing the cheeks of his moonshine, begging somebody to get the cigarette out of his moonshine. That's a true story. If Anthony Godino was here, he would confirm that story. If anybody else on the bus was here, if any of the Hard Mothers were here, they would pretty much confirm that story, if they have a good memory. The Deefy died, Mickey Horning died, Jimmy Hennessy, I haven't heard hide nor hear him in years. But if you're listening, Jimmy, remember 404. I remember 404. I remember 404, Jimmy. When you gave me the rules. When you read me the rules. I remember the rules. So, Deefy had a cigarette into his center console of the moonshine, jumped up, hit the ceiling, then got on the floor, was begging people to take that cigarette out. I guess he thought it was still lit. I don't know if it was or not. I wasn't there. But that story went around for 25 or 30 years. Deefy was always checking to make sure nobody had a cigarette in their mouth when he mooned them. That's true. Now, let's get back to my notes. I have notes. Maybe an ejaculated flying fluid did it. Maybe it was winter and the ejaculated fluid in the wintertime froze up. It was so cold that the fluid froze and hit him in the eye and broke his eye socket. Oak or a fish giant has many money. Oh, he does. Oh, he has many. He buys them. He bought his subscribers. He buys views. He buys friends. Oarfish giant. Oarfish is a. In case you don't know what an oarfish is, for those of you who don't have a good education, an oarfish, it should be O-A-R, oarfish. An oarfish is a fish that grows up to 17 feet in length and lives somewhere between a half a mile below the ocean and 3 miles below the ocean. It is as deep as the Titanic in 12,000 feet of water. And it's a legendary fish. In Japan, sometimes oarfish, and they're big, they're very big. They have a body that's bigger than a human being and a head that's about as big as 2 or 3 feet high and 2 feet wide. It almost looks like a seahorse, but it's 17 feet long. And it doesn't move very fast. And it's a legendary fish that when you see one near the surface, there's going to be a tsunami or a hurricane or a weather event. So for those of you who don't know what an oarfish is, I do. So, many money. Oarfish giant has many money. I'm still trying to come to grips with a supposed world-traveling high-end businessman that brags in a drunken... Well, we got to give words here. Uh-oh, I lost my... I have no typewriter. Oh, this computer, what a piece of junk this is. Okay. There we go. No, we don't. No, not yet. I have a computer that the keyboard keeps disconnecting the contacts a bit. Okay. Oarfish giant has many money. Let's turn this around. You could read it with me. What happened now? The oarfish giant has many money. I'm still trying to come to grips with a supposed world-traveling high-end businessman that brags in a drunken rant about putting women in the hospital by injuring them during sex. He does do that. That's a strange phenomenon, almost as strange as frozen ejaculi breaking your eye socket. Ejaculating flying fluid is my brother's handle. Wow. Flying Circus, you're a strange dude in oh so many ways. Flying Circus. See if you could get your channel link up there so people can see what the mayor of the strange side of YouTube looks like, his channel. Flying Circus has that video you put up yesterday. You did not get a comment and you did not get a thumbs up. That video with that fat guy in the video is not content, dude. That's, I don't know what that was. I found it not interesting, and that was the one video that you're not going to get a thumbs up or a comment on. I got to get back. Scott Del Fuego with a big word salad there. Maybe he was dehydrated badly and shooting spurnips at his own eye socket cluster. Wouldn't that be funny? Hitting yourself in the eye with a ready-made spurnip. Spurnips are something you can see on Flying Circus's channel. Let me get back to my post. Now, the Samsung option. Where were we? An hour ago, I talked about the Samsung option. You people, you're not paying attention. I have a playlist called Netanyahu, okay? There's 81 videos. I watched them all. This escalation is not going to go away anytime soon. In fact, Iran just chimed in. Using word salads, they said they're not going to let the great state of Israel and Mr. Netanyahu, they're not going to allow this to continue much longer. And there are riots all over the world against the great Mr. Netanyahu and the great state of Israel. There are riots all over the world. And also, Scott Ritter, in my playlist, Scott Ritter talks about before Hamas attacked the great state of Israel, the kibbutz, the riots in the great state of Israel were many. Mr. Netanyahu was changing the law about freedom of speech. I don't know what that was. I forgot what it was. But he was changing the law, allowing people to be prosecuted for freedom of speech and something else. And the people were rioting about that right before Hamas attacked the kibbutz. So it's all in my... If you really want to know what's going on, those videos are only 81 of what I've watched. But the Samsung option. Okay, so Israel, in 1964, called it a Samson, S-A-M-S-O-N, Samson option. They said that if Israel is attacked, this is true, if Israel is attacked and there is the possibility of Israel being destroyed from the attack, that they would do what is called scorched earth and or the Samsung option using nuclear weapons. That's what Israel, in short, they said they would do that. In other words, if a country came in and somehow Israel was going to be devastated, Israel would use nuclear weapons to destroy that country and any of their allies or friends. There's nobody sure about what it. Israel is sure they would use nuclear weapons from a country that was going to wipe them out. That's the Samson, Samson option. I have what I call the Samsung option, Samsong, Samsung, Sung, Samsung option. That option is worse, way worse. Take my word for it. The Samsung option is a good option compared to the Samsung option because Samsung phones are garbage. Absolute garbage. No matter what you pay for them, they're garbage. But the Samsung option that Israel, that I created, that my theory, I have a belief, I have a conspiracy theory of something far worse than the Samsung option. And that is, let's turn this around. The Samsung option right here. It's in my, it'll be in the comments later on. The Samsung option is, this is one of the few times you could use is in a sentence, but you should have a comma there, but I didn't put the comma there. So the Samsung option is Israel Hiel, will destroy the world. This is my theory. This is my conspiracy theory. Will destroy the world with hidden nukes in most major cities. I believe that's true. That's why I believe Congress and the Senate and all the presidents give Netanyahu the leeway to do what he wants, the latitude to destroy Hamas without any repercussions. I believe that the Samsung option is Israel Hiel will destroy the world with hidden nukes in most major cities, and the reason all the U.S. collectively sucks their collective bologna and cheese up with double wide straws. And it's only my theory. Now, how is that possible? I'll tell you how it's possible. I'll tell you exactly how it's possible. There's no way any rational human being can say to themselves, whatever Netanyahu wants, he can have. There's no way any rational human being is going to say that. There's no way any rational human being is going to say, whatever Mr. Netanyahu wants to do to Hamas is okay with us. But Biden says it. RFK Jr. said it. Trump says it. Nikki Haley says it. Most of the people are saying it. Most of the Chuck Schumer says it. Most of these politicians, Ron DeSantis says it. They're all on the side of World War III. It's all in my playlist. How is that possible that these people have come to the conclusion that rational countries and leaders of rational countries have come to say that there might be war crimes being committed to the Palestinians and Hamas? It might be. That might be true. And now, given that this is true, this is factual, 2 days ago, Blinken and somebody else, it might have been Biden, We're talking about the de-escalation of the war on Hamas and in that part of the country. And whilst they were having the conversation, Netanyahu called for an attack on the people that were trying to get out of the country on his orders and his instructions. So Netanyahu said, if you go over here by this door to leave that part of the country and go on this road, you can leave before we bomb. While Blinken, who's Jewish and an Israel firster, dual citizenship, was asking Netanyahu to have mercy on the Palestinians, Netanyahu called in an airstrike using American fighter aircraft that they sold to Israel or gave them to Israel, and killed a whole bunch of people on the road that Netanyahu just told them to go on for safe passage. It's going to get worse. So the Samsung option, what is it? My belief is that in the 60s, Israel took a bomb, a little bomb, nuclear bomb, I don't know, maybe like the kind that are in Hiroshima or Nagasaki, something small, and put it in a ship, and then put that ship in New York Harbor. Maybe it's shielded with lead. I don't know. But that's my belief. And then they took another ship and put another ship near Paris, France. And they took another ship and put another ship near Chicago, a major seaport, a major waterway port. And all the major ports that have to do with the Western countries. Maybe Germany has one also. This is just my theory. It's not fact. But I believe that Israel took a nuclear weapon and put them in ships that were lead-lined, or metal and lead-lined, and metal or concrete lead-lined, whatever. And they put them in all the harbors of great cities and great ports of the world. And that's where those bombs sit till today. Now, they may have, because they existed, maybe they've put newer bombs in, more powerful bombs. Maybe America knows about those bombs, therefore they don't go against anything that Netanyahu or Israel does to the Palestinians. Now, the most recent video, 3 videos that I put up there, are George Galloway or Iran, the Shah. Well, I'm not real sure what he is. He's the boss. We'll have to get this up there. Okay, where is my... I hate when I lose this. Why can't... Here we go, right here. It should be over here. I got to turn this around. Okay, now it's the last one. Okay, so in this playlist of 81 videos, including my video that I made, Wreck Diving Palawan, Philippines, cost $200. This is the one I made the announcement that 50,000 people will die during the course of this war. If it doesn't get de-escalated, 50,000 people will die. We're well on our way to that. And then I'll talk about why they're doing what they're doing to Gaza. So George Calloway responds to Nasrallah's speech. Okay, so if you don't, I didn't know who Nasrallah was yesterday, but now I know. Nasrallah is, he's the head. He's the head of Uh, oh boy, he's the head of Iran, all of the countries over there. He's a big man. I don't really remember all the names. Iran or Iraq. All right, let's just look up his name. We'll find out his name right here. We'll go here. I forget if it's Iran or Iraq. There's a lot of stuff that I had to learn to be able to talk about this. A lot. Nasrallah. Okay. Again, I lost the keyboard. What a piece of junk. Anybody have a decent computer they want to give me, I'll take it, because I have nothing but problems with this computer. Nasrallah, Hezbollah's Hassan, okay, here we are. Hezbollah's Hassan Nasrallah speech on Israel war. He's about ready to start World War III. From what I listened to his speech, and I listened to the word salad he used, he's about ready to start World War III. He won't say what he's going to do, but he did say that he's not going to allow Israel to continue doing what they're doing, whatever it is that they're doing, to Hamas, and that the Arab countries are going to unite. And if they do unite, and that's what he's going to be calling for, maybe, he's the Secretary General of Hezbollah. Okay, I don't remember all of this stuff. I only had the opportunity to watch this once. Okay. All right, where is it? Number 2. Okay, there it is, number 2. Okay, 2 after the Gmail. So Hassan Nasrallah, Secretary General of the Hezbollah. He's like the head of, I don't even know if it's Iran or Iraq. The Hezbollah leader threatens escalation with Israel as war rages on. Okay? This is his speech. So let's get his speech. Okay, here it is, right here. This is what I listened to yesterday. Lebanon. He's the head of Lebanon. How come you don't see the giant ego doing videos on this? He's supposed to be so smart. Because he wants to maintain neutrality. He doesn't want to be, he only wants the weak and the weary to call him God. The weak and the innocent to look up to him as a godlike figure. He wants that to happen. Okay, so let's go here. Oh, okay, right there. So that's that. And then, now this is, I'm going to get the link now for you. And I'm going to put the link in the box. You guys can read this, open it up on your computer, put it on another tab. And this is important stuff, because if this is the one man that has spoken out against Israel, that means anything. What Trump says, what Biden says, what Blinken says means nothing, because they're not in control of the Arab nations. This fella here, Nasrallah, this fella here, he's in control of, I don't know, 20 million people, 50 million people, 100 million people, all of the Arab nations combined, a coalition of the Arab nations. This guy is the guy that's in control of all the Arab nations. If he says, go to war with Israel, Israel will get wiped out in a matter of, I think, look at that, 199 characters. That's perfect. Look at that. It just fit in there. I'm right under the 200 mark. It's the universe talking to you. He said, it is said. Now, he didn't say it. He worded his salad really, really well. He did not say what he was going to do, but he said that what he was going to do was going to be it. George Holloway, that's this guy here, George. You want to open up this link right here. You want to open that up. If you want to see what's going on now and how this can escalate into World War III, this guy, this speech, listen to what he says and what he doesn't say, and then go to my playlist and listen to George Galloway's at the top, Scott Ritter's the second one down, and the Arab ambassadors speak at the United Nations. These three have to do with this fella, whatever his name is, Nasrallah. These three people on my playlist. Now, don't come after me because I don't remember all of these names. There's Iran, there's Iraq, there's Egypt, there's Hezbollah, there's about 15 different warring factions in that part of the world. To me, they all sound pretty much alike. They're all different. All of them were funded by the United States of America and or Israel at one time or another. And now all of them are at odds or ends with one another. But I can't remember all of those names. All I remember are the concepts in the videos. And these 81 videos that I posted for your viewing pleasure, I listened to every word out of every video. Putin, who I really like a lot, and who was friends with the great state of Israel, is no longer in that position to say he's good friends with Israel, and that he will side with the Arab nations. Indirectly, he said that. So indirectly, America will be at war with several Arab nations, possibly, and Putin and China, a war they can't win. That's what's going on in the Middle East, and that's today's topic. Although we got sidetracked a little bit with that psychopath who called me a chemical bag. Oh, dude, you are just putting yourself into a corner. You're painting yourself into a corner, dude. You keep it up, calling me names, and I'll keep giving my videos with your face and your words in them to people that are willing to publish them, and we'll be on even par. If that's what you want to do, then you just do that. Calling me or anybody else that uses sound bites against you after what you've done to other people, and you think you're in the right, a true psychopath, a true narcissist, you are. That's for sure. Now, let's go back over here. Now, where are we? We are looking for, not this one. This is my, no, this is my, we're not looking for that. Okay, so we are looking for my words. Okay, so now I showed you my version of the Samsung option. There's the Samsung option here, and then there's the Samsung version, which is mine. And I am telling you unequivocally, and make no mistake about it, I'm right about that. Somehow Israel has a hold over the American Congress, the Senate, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the Secretary General of the UN, and the President of the United States, the Vice President, anybody that wants to be president. They all have to abide by what Israel says, and now Mr. Netanyahu. They all have to abide by him. And now Trump could have an out, even though Trump says that anything that Israel wants, beautiful Israel, Trump calls Israel beautiful Israel. There's been a new complication with Trump and Israel. You haven't heard about it, but I have insight into what happened. So Trump had a secret meeting with Netanyahu about 3 days ago, just before the Nasrallah conference thing that happened. And Trump was praying at the Wailing Wall for beautiful Israel. Trump. Where is Mr. Trump? Let's find Mr. Trump. You realize I don't have a Trump doll? I thought I had a Trump doll. What would make me think that? Didn't I have a Trump doll? Does anybody remember? I thought I did. I should have a Trump doll. I have a Trump doll. I have Trump. So Trump went to Israel 3 days ago. Where is this? Come on. Okay. Trump went to Israel 3 days ago, Mr. Trump. He went to Israel. And he got there, today is Sunday, he got there Friday morning about 7 o'clock. And Trump went to the Wailing Wall with a couple of other U.S. senators and congressmen. They had a gaggle of politicians. And they went to the Wailing Wall. Let's just pretend that the pot is the Wailing Wall. And Trump, when he got to the Wailing Wall, he got down in the customary position and he started to nod his head up against the wall. Because Trump is an Israel firster. He will do anything for beautiful Israel. So Trump's beautiful Israel was being prayed for by the great Donald Trump. And what he realized was the more he banged his head on the wall, the better he felt. So when Trump was banging his head on the wall, praying for the beautiful Israel, what Trump realized is the harder he banged his head on the wall, the better he felt. So Trump asked his security detail to make a sling out of some ropes that stop people from going near him. The ropes they cordon off the Wailing. When the president's around, you can only go like within 50 feet. So Trump got these people to make a sling for Trump, like this. So Trump's got so they took this sling, this is a sling, and they put President Trump in the sling, like this. Now Trump is in the sling, right? And Trump said to them, "Look, I want you to take the sling and sling me into the wall like a battering ram. Because the harder I hit my head on the Wailing Wall, the better I feel." So Trump has now become a human battering ram, hitting his head on the Wailing Wall like a gong on a bell. And that's why Trump might have an excuse to take a couple of days off, because he got a headache. So these guys took it to heart, and they were slinging Donald Trump up against the Wailing Wall, and Donald has a headache now. So he had to take a break. So he might not be in on the vote to go one step further. But that's the true story. Trump is an Israel firster. Mr. Netanyahu can do no wrong. And Mr. Trump has already banged his head on the wall before, but knows that if he wants to be president in 130 days or something like that, something starts with the voting process. He's got to bang his head on the wall more, so he figured he'd go there and bang his wall on the head Friday. And then when he was done banging his wall on the head, he'd bang his head on the wall too. He's all a little bit confused, Mr. Trump is, from banging his head on the Wailing Wall. Why do you think they call it the Wailing Wall? Because after you're done, you're crying because your head hurts, because you banged your head on a rock wall. What do you think is going to happen when you bang your head on a rock wall? Trump is Israel first, baby. Take my word for it. So, he's in on this. Flying circus, I got one. I don't know, maybe maybe I'm not seeing, hold on a minute, I got to get back to my page. Okay, so now we have to go about talking about why they're destroying Hezbollah. Is it Hezbollah? No. Hamas. Why they're destroying the buildings. Oh, this is another Michael Thomas Fazio conspiracy theory coming right at you. Oh, you're a Trump doll. Oh, you got one. Okay, you got a Trump. Flying Circus is my hero. He's got a Trump doll. So, that's hero worship at its best. Me and Flying Circus, we get along just great. So, why are they turning, is that Palestine? Palestine, right? I forget all these words. Hamas, where they live. The Golan Heights, Gaza, that's what it is, the Gaza. They're turning it into rubble, looking for military targets that they say are underground, but they're turning the buildings into, they're still bombing the Golan Heights or Gaza. They're still bombing it every day. They haven't stopped. The news stopped showing it to you, but they're still doing it. I don't know why they're turning it into rubble, because that's their next big business adventure for BlackRock or all the politicians that are going to invest in the companies that are going to sell them steel from China. I don't know why they're doing it. But the theoretical people, Colonel McGregor, George Galloway, Scott Ritter. Scott Ritter was an analyst for the United States military. These are all famous people in the playlist. They say that they're turning it into rubble so that they won't have to go into that area and fight in hand-to-hand combat, because it'd be impossible. That's one theory. The other reason is that they're getting some of the underground bases. That's another theory. And the third reason is my reason, and everybody else's reason, that eventually somebody's going to make $100 billion from rebuilding Gaza. But the fourth reason is probably the biggest reason, is if they turn it into rubble, Israel will be able to come in and rebuild it and claim it as their own. That's the fourth reason. I don't know which reason is real. But either way, somebody's going to make $1 trillion. Michael Handelman, I actually saw your logo somewhere on my channel. Oh, not so long ago. I saw your handle somewhere. Okay, so, Michael Handelman says it's to build a new canal. Okay, I saw that logo. Now, that logo could be a logo of something else that I saw. Saw it from TikTok. I don't watch TikTok, but I saw that emblem. Just today I saw it when I was scanning through the channel. So Michael Handelman says it's to build a new canal twice the size of the Suez Canal through Gaza. Well, they probably could do that if they wanted to. I mean, I don't know anything about that. Let's take a look at Gaza on the map. I know there's Gaza and then there's water. There's the Mediterranean Sea or the Red Sea. All right, Gaza, Gazza. Gaza map. Gaza, Israel. Let's go there. We need a map. Let's check that out. Okay, so let's go here. Okay. Okay, so Gaza is here and Israel is here. So Michael Handelman says they want to build a canal from the Mediterranean Sea to Israel through Gaza. And that would give them passage to the Mediterranean Sea, because right now I do know that passage to the Mediterranean Sea is, if they have a problem with Egypt, that I remember, they cannot get to the Mediterranean Sea. And on the other end is another country. So they don't have access to the Mediterranean Sea. All right, well, that makes sense. And 5 kilometers is here. So it's like 10 kilometers. It's only wait a second. It's a couple of miles from the Mediterranean Sea to Israel. They could do that, no problem. Well, that makes sense. I haven't heard of that theory before, but I will tell you that I did know that Israel is kind of landlocked, and that's a perfect solution. Now, here is what the Gaza City following Israel airstrikes on October 10th. Even though there are still buildings standing, there's no glass, there's no plumbing, there's no electric. The concussion from the bombs has blew out any living quarters that may have been there. Plus, there's no food or water to get. So if you were living here, how would you get back and forth to a store? There's no such thing as stores anymore. No more stores. And here it is again. The Mediterranean Sea is over here, and Israel is over here. Okay, so the northeastern border is Egypt, and the south, the Ezra border crossing. All right, so they're landlocked pretty much from the middle of Israel. They have to go all the way around over here. So they could get around this side of Gaza. All right, well, thanks, Michael, for that. We could get this map up on there so you guys could. Well, we got to go back over there in a minute. We're not done with Popeye yet. Popeye is still, remember that song, And the Band Plays On, back in the 70s? That's Popeye's song. And he's still shooting corn from his corn husker. His corn husker is automatic. And he's still shooting corn. Shooting corn from the corn husker. The auto husker he is. He's been really quiet lately. He knows that everybody can see what's going on. His friend is having a grand old time, knowing that his bills have been paid for a year by the giant ego man. When you have a year's bills paid in advance and somebody's telling you how fast to dance, it's easy to live in someone else's bank account, even though you said you were an independent mount. Not everybody is independent. Some rely on other people's bank accounts. Not Popeye, but his friend surely does. Michael Handelman says it has rocky terrain, and they're going to use nukes to build it. Well, that much I know, that it had the rocky terrain, because if what they say, and this is why I know that it has rocky terrain. So Hezbollah is got tunnels that are 60 meters deep in solid rock. So in order to build a canal, they would have to blast through solid rock, like Michael Handelman says. That's true. So I believe he's telling the truth. Where's that map again? So this area here, yeah, but for them to build a canal, no matter how deep, no matter what rock is, they couldn't blast it. I worked on a blasting rig. Solid granite is not a problem at all for dynamite. And I don't know if they'll use dynamite or nukes, but to them to go down as far as they want and nuke rock would be easy. Michael Handelman comes in with some valuable concepts about Israel and why they want Gaza back. Thank you, Michael. This is my playlist. No. Is that 2 playlists that I have? Yeah. This is Netanyahu's playlist. And this, I can close that one down. You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, Michael said you're welcome. Thank you. Yeah, so that makes perfect sense, actually. It would cut, God, that would cut a tremendous amount of land. If this is 2 miles, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. That would cut, say, 25 miles of traveling off of the northwest side of Israel. Plus, it would give it direct access to the Mediterranean Sea for ships, which it does not have over here. So that would give it more access to the Mediterranean Sea. That's a good theory. And actually, it's probably not a theory. It's probably something that nobody's talking about. Well, let's go back. So that's a new theory, why they want Gaza. That one makes more sense than anything else. If they turn it all into rubble, there won't be anything left to build. The people from Gaza surely can't afford to rebuild it. That's for sure. No doubt about that. Let's go back to my... let's go back to my post. This is the post I have on Alpha Male Construction community page. Now we have an unknown... We have trillions of dollars in rubble, which is what we were just discussing. If they turn it all into rubble, it could be in the trillions of dollars to rebuild it. It might not be worth it. They build a canal. They have access to the Mediterranean Sea, and they solve all their problems all at once. The death toll at 10,000 is unknown. I would say the real death toll is double or triple that, because when you're looking at something like this, when you're looking at this, look at this. Look at all this rubble. This is a city block square, right? How do they know how many people are buried underneath that rubble? How do they know that? They don't know that. They don't know how many people were disintegrated when the bombs landed. They don't know how many people were turned into fluid. They don't know any of that. So they don't know that 10,000 people is the real toll. Now we have Bummer still in detention, and he's building Bummer Ash, busting bombs in detention, and he's getting ready to send. See, but let me tell you what the problem with Barry Jourdain is, okay? Barry, look, I'm not going to knock you down any more than other people have already. I mean, I'll leave that up to them. But Barry, when people say that you're your own worst enemy, it might turn out to be true. But you're a growed man, Growd, growed man. You're a growed man. You said you were a growed man. Don't give me any advice. To me, you told me that a long time ago, so I don't give you advice anymore. But you should have, maybe 3 years ago, listened to other people. Forget my advice. It's all the same advice. My advice, their advice, was to just stop breaking somebody's chops And maybe it will go away, but you didn't do that. Now, you're not in jail for that reason. That's true. You're not in jail at all. You're in detention. And you may get out of detention. You may get out. That might be true. I don't disagree with what you say. But I don't think you're helping yourself by doing live streams. But that's just my opinion. I'm trying to think of something intelligent to say to you that you would understand, but you don't. A lot of what you say, you should have not have said, that's for sure. A lot of what you said, you should not have said, but you know that already. And that's not why Barry is in detention, because of anything he said. He's in detention because he has 7 years overstay. Now, Barry did say, here's what my point here. Barry did say that the giant ego was going to pay his airline ticket and help him get out of jail. Barry, now is the time to get out of jail. To call up the Giga Ego. He got the money. You know he got the money. And call up the Giga Ego. Give him what he wants. You know what he wants. He wants your servitude. He wants you to be his indentured servant forever. You don't have to do anything physical. But he wants you to follow him like they did in the movie Tommy, where they followed the pinball wizard. That's what the Giga Ego wants. He wants your servitude and your in that gratitude to follow him as if he was the pinball wizard. Well, let's go back over here. Now, the bigger ego is using a 9.5-inch ASH, ash-busting hospital threats and psychic hand signals known as yuk-yuk, luk-luk. Actually, it's luk-luk, L-U-C-L-U-C, but I didn't want to put that in there, in the Philippines. So, when you hear the Giga Ego talking nonsense to get you to follow him, he's doing what is known as look. That's the Giga Ego. That's it. And in real life, I would not put it past him to give you a hand. No, I would not put that past him. Then he also curses anyone on the internet that uses sound bites to prove a point, which, by the way, is the way every news agency on the flat earth, and the earth is flat, makes a living by using sound bites of other people's words. The psycho has removed all his incriminating videos and is now a pillar of the community. LOL. Popeye blowing corn. We're down to the nitty gritty here. We're down to the last 15 minutes. Popeye, all this while, is eating none other than the Green Giant's cans of corn. The giant cans of Green Giant corn. Preparing for a corn burst, which is like a starburst where they do intergalactic travel. Popeye is on his knees, primed and ready, with his lower torso on a swivel, waiting for his next victim, to shoot corn at his next victim. That's what Popeye's contribution is. I am not sure who Popeye's next great, and Popeye does some of the best. Popeye one videos I've ever seen on the internet. He's got the best stuff up there. There's no doubt about that. Somebody want to throw his channel name up there, you could do that. I'm reading the comments here. Okay, Nico, there's a guy named Nico involved in all of this. Ah, Nico boring hummus cheese to death with 6-second balut videos. Ah, Nico is boring hummus cheese to death with 6-second. Look, come on, man. Look, Nico, just between you and me. You said you were coming to the Philippines. Now you have the giga ego against me because I said what you said is what you said you were coming to the Philippines to do. And then when you got here, you never did what you said you were going to do. And you don't have to do what you said you were going to do. Especially you don't have to do it because of me. Because you already made it clear that what you do is what you do. It's none of anybody else's business what you do. So far be it from me, Nico, to be in your business about what you do. But what you said you were going to do, and you said it to me and you said it to other people, is not what you did when you got here. So, I'm going to do live streams. I'm going to get my time up. I'm allowed to say that because it's a public venue. You said you were going to get your time up. You said you were going to do live streams. You were going to get your hours up so you could get Super Chat. But what? Why don't you still need Super Chat? And you may have begged, saying, yes, I'm an e-beggar. I want you to send me money. Yes, if I have to be called an e-beggar, I'll be called an e-beggar. Yes, I'm e-begging. Send me money. You said those words, Nico, because you needed the money to come to the Philippines. But now you're here and somebody's subsidizing your vacation, which you said you wouldn't let happen, and you're not doing the long live streams like you said you were going to. You're boring us to death with 6-second balut videos, which, of course, we don't have to watch. But I would never say don't watch Nico's videos. I always liked Nico, and I always liked his videos. And he has more potential than talking about a fork. That's just a worthless 22-second video, dude. Put some content up. You went to Camigan Island? I didn't see any content from that. I don't even know if I'm subscribed to your channel anymore, but you went to Cebu, all over Cebu, you had a motorcycle, you were going here, you were going there, you went to Bohol. I don't see any of those long live streams that you said. A live stream is a live stream. And a non-live stream is a non-live stream. Like, a live stream is a live stream, like old business is old business, and we don't do new business until old business is finished. And old business is not finished, so therefore we have no new business, according to Tully and Gomez Adams. So you didn't do what you said. Now, don't rationalize it by screaming out me or anybody else that it's none of our damn business. You said you were going to do something. You were going halfway around the world to do it, and then you didn't do it. So we're allowed to talk about that because that's what the YouTube community does. We talk about other YouTubers. Part of the community procedural methodologies is you talk about me. It's all YouTube. It's all fun, right? It's all fun until it's you. It's all fun. It's all fun until your friend belittles and betrays me on several occasions. That was all fun and games until he did that. It's all fun until he lies about what he says he's going to do and then does something else. It's all fun until he supports The man who attacked me from behind with several $100, more than $700. It's all fun and games until he does that. What do you think I look so lowly on that guy for? Why do you think I think of him in such low self-esteem? Because he betrays people's trust, then lies about it, and then compounds his lies with more lies, saying that he never said this, that, and the other thing, when I have it all recorded. That's your friend, Nico. That's the man who you chose to make love to if you ever decide to become gay. That's your friend, not my friend. The first time he betrayed me, I ended our friendship. The second time he betrayed me, I did a couple of live streams about it and never had anything to do with him again. But he's still at it, calling me, who's using sound bites against him, and my friend Flying Circus, chemical bags for using sound bites. But it's okay for him to do that. It's okay for him to destroy Princess Anne's reputation, whether or not she did what he said that they did together, whether or not she is one of his girlfriends, his concubines, his conquest, none of that matters. The fact that he made it public, that's sick. And that's your friend, that if you ever decide to be gay, you want to make love to him. You said that. I didn't say it. Don't lash out at me because of something you said and we have sound bites for. And don't lash out at me and defend somebody that lies about what he says and then compounds his lies by taking his videos off of YouTube and then denying it. And then when the truth comes out in video format, denies that it's his voice. It's AI all of a sudden. Don't do that. And then I won't talk about you. Nobody will talk about you. Do what you said you were going to do and have fun. Now, Barry Jordan, back into the comments section again, is recruiting money likers to give him a Grand Canyon rim job. That's what Barry is looking for. Barry is looking for, according to John Blaze, Barry likes a Grand Canyon, the rim of the Grand Canyon, those jobs. Okay, so now let's talk about some of the other bloggers, because some of these other bloggers they are up into the Big Esquire. They are up into the Big Esquire so far light doesn't get up there. They would include people like Tom and Ruth, who are now creating sucking sounds so loud it has created a vortex vacuum in Cebu to such a negative pressure that your brain can be sucked out after listening to Tom and Ruth kiss the giant ego's Badinsky at close range, as are Mercy and her bearded bologna and cheese husband, who dressed as a sponge for Halloween. I'll leave that up to you to figure out, but Tom and Ruth have always been the kissers of Badinsky's, and the bearded bologna and cheese husband, who dressed as a sponge for Halloween, owes quite a bit to the Giga Ego, because the Giga Ego, and even myself at that time, helped the bearded sponge become a monetized YouTuber. I remember that day. A lot of people helped him. And then he explained to people that he was unable to work and that his wife had to support his bills. But now I understand he has a job somewhere in America. So good for him. That's a good thing. So we'll leave him alone for now. But he was kissing the Giga Ego's Badinsky big enough to get sucked up into the Tom and Ruth vortex, who are Badinsky kisses from way back. My hero, Vladimir Putin, is no longer brainwashed by Israel Hiel and has threatened to turn Russia into a hog farm to supply free holiday hams to the world. That's Vladimir Putin's answer to the Israeli Hezbollah Gaza problem. My hero, Vladimir Putin, is going to turn Russia into a giant hog farm as reprisals for Israel. Trump is in the ICU, we already know that, after going to Israel 23 times and banging his head on the wall to secure his second presidency. That's true. Mr. Netanyahu has had his way with Trump and Biden, and now having an inter-corset cigarette. Figure that out for your own. Mr. Netanyahu has had his way with Trump and Biden and is now laying back, having a cigarette. Ed Lippert is the team anchor, spelled wrong. No, that's right. Ed Lippert is the team anchor and will act as the interpreter and confound and confuse them by mumbling them into a state of confusion. Understanding that if you can't dazzle them with brilliance, then baffle them with bullshit. That's Ed Lippert's motto. If you can't dazzle them with brilliance, act as an interpreter between Israel, Hamas, and the Arab nations. Read the words in the teleprompter. And if you can't dazzle them with brilliance, Ed Lippert says, then baffle them with bullshit. Not sure of the timestamp. Okay, this is the video where I put my premonition in wreck diving Palawan that there would be 50,000 deaths. This is this video at the bottom of my community post is my Netanyahu playlist with 81 videos. I'll add to that as I go through. What you should understand, though, is, see this? These videos here, George Galloway responds to Nasrallah speech. For all I know, they have a World War III in the making right now today. This fella, Nasrallah, he's the most powerful person in that part of the world. And he is not having Israel attack Gaza and, I forget the name of them, Gaza and not Hezbollah. The people that Israel are attacking, I keep forgetting their name. Scott Ritter says Israel is in big trouble, and the reason that Scott Ritter says Israel is in big trouble is because many of the superpowers of the world, especially those in Mideast, are now backing away from support of Israel. Although you have to remember, Israel has the Samsung option. And I believe what I told you about that is true. And the Arab ambassadors speak at the United Nations following an Israeli strike on a hospital in Gaza. Now, I don't know if that's a new strike or an old strike. All I know is that as of yesterday, the devastation that you see right here in this right here, this devastation here. This bombed out area. Enough of Gaza looks like this, that of the 26 hospitals that were in Gaza, only two have the ability to treat the wounded. Only two. Not any more than that. Two only. Where's my water? I don't know where here it is right here. So, I don't have any water. So that's it. So this is what they're going to do. Michael Handelman says that they're doing this so they can put a canal twice the width of the Suez Canal straight through Gaza. It sounds like a plausible reason to me. And I will go back here and I'm going to end this live stream now. I will tell you my next live stream will take place this 80 Norman Finkelstein is a pretty good analyst and a Jewish rabbi. He's got some great videos, maybe 3 in this playlist. Erdogan chooses his side in the Israel war. Erdogan is not the most powerful person in the Mideast, but he controls the Turkish Navy and 2 million soldiers. So what he says also holds a lot of weight in the Mideast. So actually he should be up there at the top. I didn't have a chance to set these up in a proper order. The first 3 are the most important 3. This one here with Erdogan, he would be the 4th one. I have to go to another page to do that. I keep forgetting how to do this.
Size of the eye bags has exceeded 2 centimeters. It is...
Okay, how do I get Erdogan's video to the top? I don't know how to do that. Okay, can't do it like that. I know how to do it the other day. Hold on a minute. Let me take a look at this. Do I have to go here? I have to go here. Go to my channel. Go to my playlists. I have them. I tried to sort this stuff out. And it refuses to stay at the top. All right, so let's go here. Anyway, the Netanyahu playlist is the #1 playlist. But there's another way to control this somehow. I have to figure it out. So there's a couple of playlists that have to do with Israel. These two here, Jews against politicians. Now this one over here, the Jewish people in Israel itself. Oh, that's a private playlist. Why is that private? I got to make that one public. That one was demonstrators in Israel itself against Netanyahu. I don't know why it's private. I have trouble keeping track of that. I'm not so smart, Okay, now there are things that I watch on YouTube and things I don't watch. I very rarely watch any kind of political stuff with women newscasters that are 25 years old because they have blonde hair and blue eyes. I don't watch any of that crap at all. Now, there was a channel I watched, Al Jazeera, and there was another one from India that I watch. But the woman from India now she speaks with such a heavy accent. She's pretty good. She's like in her 40s or 50s. She's pretty good. But there's a blonde-headed woman that's talking about Israel. She's got a really good beautician. Whoever the beautician is, does a beautiful job on her hair. She might be 25 or 30 years old. I'm not interested in listening to her talk about war. I'm not interested in that. I don't know much about war, but she pretends she knows everything about war. I don't care what her degrees are or anything like that. I'd rather hear it from an analyst like Scott Ritter, who was in on the... He's also a New World Order type of guy, Scott Ritter. Don't make any mistake about that. He was supposed to be a weapons inspector back in the 90s when Iran allowed them to go into the nuclear facilities to make sure they weren't enriching uranium. So Scott Ritter is part of the establishment, there's no doubt about it. And so is Colonel McGregor. But I'd rather listen to it from men that have actual first-hand knowledge of what war looks like. At least we know they've experienced it. I've never experienced it, nor would I want to, but they do. But I refuse to watch it from some blonde-headed woman with a beautiful hairstyle. She got nice hair. I'd like to see what she looks like upside down, with her hair flowing upside down. But because her hair, the blonde that's now doing her hair locks, the locks of her hair lock in like gears meshing all the way down. The hair from the back of the hair locks into the front of the hair. Like, it looks like a giant gear meshing with another gear on both sides. And I would just love to see what she would look like if you turned her upside down, if the hair still locks in place like that. Because she's pretty. Got nice hair, too. I'd love to see what that upside down with the hair flowing like that. And with that, I will say goodbye. I'll leave you with that thought. If you do run across that girl that's about 25 or 30 years old, you take a look at her hair. She's got nice hair. I'm not kidding about that. Her hair is beautiful. I never saw a hairstyle like long blonde hair. It goes down to about here, and it locks in. Imagine turning her upside down, and the hair, the way it would lock in place when she's vertical, if it did the same thing when she was horizontal. That would be the question that I would want to ask. If she was on the TV, if they could put her on one of those things like Emerson, Lake and Palmer used to play the drums upside down, brain salad surgery. He was playing the drums upside down. Emerson, Lake and Palmer, remember that concert? You didn't go to that concert? Okay. I went to that concert. All right, I'm being Permy, which of course means take care always. You guys keep making videos about me, keep calling me a scummicle bag, and keep talking about me. And every time you do, you know what? I'm going to go through my videos. I'll go through my videos and we'll pick out another video. Next time I hear my name or reference to me being a scummicle bag, I'll just pick out another video. I will do that. For you, I'll do that. I'll do it for you. And if your name was Eugene, I would be doing it for Eugene. And if your name was Gene, I would be doing it for Eugene. From the Philippines, baby, I'm being Permy, which means take care always. Bye-bye for now. That's right.